Mathematics. This is Teacher Rosalind Grace, your teacher for today's lesson. How are you feeling today? Are you buckled up and excited for our today's lesson? Well, today we will going to talk about the concepts, principles, and the underpinning laws of gender and development. But before that, let us know the following learning objectives of this lesson. At the end of this lesson, learners are able to knowledge, explain the principles and concepts of gender and development. Skills, discuss the various principles relating to the study of gender and development. And attitude, apply and understand the current gender situation in the Philippines and with existing laws that uphold gender rights.
Roles are the behaviors, activities, and expectations that a society considers appropriate for men and women. They are often based on traditional ideas about what each gender should do and be like. For example, in some societies, women are expected to be caregivers and homemakers, while men are expected to be providers and protectors. This expectation can influence how people behave, what jobs they choose, and how they are treated. It's important to remember that sex roles are often learned from our families, schools, and communities. They are not fixed or natural, and they can vary greatly from culture to culture. One is gender roles. Gender roles are like a set of roles or expectations that a society has about how men and women should act, think, and behave. They are based on ideas about what is masculine and feminine. For men should be strong and independent, while women should be caring and nurturing. These ideas can influence how people dress, what hobbies they enjoy, and even what jobs they choose. It is important to remember that gender roles are not set in stone. They can change over time and vary from. Third one is gender socialization. It is the process of learning about gender roles and expectations from the people around us, like family, friends, teachers, and even media. We learn these things through everyday experiences, like what toys we play with, what clothes we wear, and how we are treated. This process helps us to understand what is considered masculine and feminine and how we should behave as a man or a woman. While this learning is natural and happens from a young age, it is important to remember that gender roles are not always fair or accurate. We can challenge these expectations and choose to express ourselves in ways that feel true to us. One is gender bias. It's like having a hidden set of rules that unfairly favors one gender over another. It is likely a secret code that tells people to treat men and women differently even if they're doing the same thing. For example, some people might think that men are better at math or that women are better at caring for children. These ideas can lead to unfair treatment, like paying women less than men for the same job or not giving women the same opportunities for leadership. Gender bias can be subtle or obvious, but it always hurts people and creates an even playing field.
There are 6 concepts related to gender bias. First is the stereotyping. It is the practice of individual, woman and man specific rules, attributes, and characteristics by reason of his or her memberships in the social groups. Like it is a broad generalization of a person or group based on assumption rather than facts. For example, thinking all elderly people are frail and slow. Next is assuming all women love shopping. And lastly, thinking all athletes are not academically focused. Next is the marginalization. It is It is an act of placing a person or a thing in a position of lesser importance, lesser influence, or lesser power. It is pushing a person or group to edges of society, making them feel unimportant or excluded. Example is ignoring the opinion of classmate or student in the classroom. Third is the subordination. It is treating a group or individual as less important or inferior to others. Like for example, paying a woman less than a man at the same job. Next is not allowing religious groups practice freely.
Multiple burden, the overload of responsibilities such as work and household duties that often fall particularly on women. Example, a woman work full-time and then spend her evenings cooking, cleaning, and taking care of her children, managing both paid work and unpaid domestic responsibilities. The next is gender-based violence against women. It is a harmful act directed at individual based on gender, including domestic violence and sexual harassment. Example, a woman experienced physical and emotional abuse from her partner, facing violence against due to her gender. The next is the gender equality means ensuring people of all genders have equal rights, responsibilities, and opportunities free from bias and discrimination. Like a company example, a company implement equal payment, treatment, and opportunity, and both rights for men and women.
My topic about lesson 10.2 Philippine gender situation and laws upholding gender rights. So the first is gender gap. So gender gap is defined as the distance between males and females in relation to their access to social, political, cultural, and economic lives. The 2020 Global Gap Index depicts that the Philippines is the one of the top countries in the world that is able to narrow the gender gap as it ranked 16th out of 153 countries. So the between the difference between men and women is various social and economic indicators such as participation, access, rights, numeration, or benefits. So, gender equality is the part of the gender gap that is driven by gender ideas and unequal gender rights and opportunities. The second topic is policy imperatives on JAD, international policies. First is UN Convention on Elimination and Discrimination Against Women or CEDAW. This is frequently referred to as a global charter of rights for women. It establishes an agenda for national action to end such prejudice against women while defining what constitutes such behavior. So the Convention on the Elimination and Discrimination Against Women or CEDAW is an international agreement that aims to ensure women and girls have equal human right to men. The UN General Assembly adopted CEDAW in 1979. The second policy imperatives on JAD is Beijing Platform for Action. On September 15, 1995, the UN passed a resolution known as the Beijing Declaration at conclusion of the Fourth World Movement. The resolution was passed to establish a set of guidelines for gender equality. So, a UN resolution that outlines a comprehensive plan to advance gender equality and women's rights and a global agenda for gender equality and women's empowerment. The third policy imperatives on JAD is Millennium Development Goals and Sustainable Development Goals, also known as the Global Goals. These are a set of 16 interconnected international objectives that are intended to serve as a common blueprint for peace and prosperity for people and the planet, now and into the future. So the Millennium Development Goals were a set of 8 goals that UN member states agreed to achieve by. So the goals one is eradicate extreme poverty and hunger. So the goals number two is achieve universal primary education. The goals three is promote gender equality and empower women. Goals four is reduce child mortality. Goals five is improve maternal health. Goals number six is combating HIV and AIDS, malaria, and other diseases. Goals number 8 is ensure environmental sustainability. Goals number 8 is develop a global partnership for development. That's all. Thank you.
So, today I'm going to discuss about the 1987 Philippine Constitution. So, this is the Republic of the Philippine Constitution, which is also its highest legislation. So, as we are in independence and democratic country, so what we're promote is about the truth, peace, freedom, love, equality, and peace. So, in 1987 Philippine Constitution, so our human rights has been stated there. So, mo na siya nga sa Article 1. So, it talks about our rights in our national territories. Sa Article 3 is ato ang Bill of Rights. Sa Article 4 is kaan ka na sa ato ang citizenship and so many others. So, but then, daghan kayong mga current issues and mga challenges na naa nato ron. So, first is, issue nato is about economic development. So, ano to pagkakuha og economic development kung naapoy corruption, di ba? So, another issues is economic growth also benefits the poorer classes. But then, ato ang pong challenges ani is naapo tayo for law enforcement and an ineffective justice system. So that is why the purpose of this constitution is to protect and defend the rights of the citizens, establish how the government should work, and outline how laws are made in order to protect those rights. This is about Magna Carta of Women. So it is a comprehensive women's human right law that seeks to eliminate discrimination through the recognition, protection, fulfillment, and promotion of the rights of the Filipino women. We, the Filipino women, have been protected by the government nowadays. So, in Section 9, protection from violence, so the state shall ensure that all women shall be protected from all forms of violence. So, makabantay ta, diba? Kanang moingon sila nga, kanang mga laki gani nga moingon nga, nagsalig kay labanan sa gobyerno. So, kuan ka nang, when it comes to bullying pod, so sa una, grabe kayo na siya nga issue. But then, karon is, na-minimize na siya kay, kuan ka nang, once nga nakabully ka is nakakomit na ka or nakasupak na ka against sa law nga Republic Act of 106/27 Section 2, which is called cyberbullying. So this covers social bullying aiming to belittle another individual or group, or gender-based bullying that humiliates another. So once nang bully ka, so pwede na ka makasuhan. So mo na siya naka-advantage yung panahon na. And then now we can enable to
actively participate and contribute to the political, economic, social, and cultural development. So, unlike sa una, ang mga bahay gani is wala na sila right or magpakahilom ra or magpundor na sila sa ilahang balay. Pero karon kuan ka nang we are empowered women na jud. So, swerte tagamay. So, lastly, it's about Women in Development and Nation Building Act or Republic Act number 7192. So, this act is promoting the integration of women as full and equal partners of men in development and nation building and for other purposes. So, mauna siya.
So the Philippine Plan for Gender Responsive Development, or the PPGD, is a nationwide multi-sectoral policy document. In the plan, sectors on economic and industrial development include agriculture and fisheries, agrarian reform, environment and natural resources, and industry, trade, and tourism. The following primary objectives are highlighted in the sector plans to promote and enhance the participation of women, both as agents and beneficiaries in economic and industrial development, and to mainstream gender concerns in the development and management of the subsectors in agriculture and environment and natural resources and industry and tourism. So, the Philippine Plan for Gender Responsive Development, or the PPGD, aims to promote gender equality and empower women through addressing gender disparities, promoting women's participation in development, eliminating gender-based violence, and mainstreaming gender concerns in policy making. So, overall, it is to achieve inclusive growth and social justice and human rights for all Filipinos, regardless of their gender, regardless of the gender. So, it women's has the privilege to enhance or to participate in this kind of movement or action. So that is why there is a PPGD, or the uh, Philippine Plan for Responsive Gender Development. What is gender equality and women empowerment, or the GW plan? So, the GW plan is the government's guide and key reference in formulating GAD plans and budgets. It is the third time slice framework plan that government has formulated in support of long-term perspective plan. The Philippine Plan for Gender Responsive Development, or the PPGD, the GW plan covers 4 years of the updated Philippine Development Plan and the remaining years of the PPGD. So, the Gender Equality and Women Empowerment, or the GB Plan, aims to promote gender equality and empower women through strategic inventions. So, it is enhancing women's participation, increase representation in decision-making position, promote economic empowerment, improve access to education, training, economic opportunities, eliminate violence, reduce gender-based violence, promote safe environments, advance health and well-being, improve access to healthcare services, and strengthen institutional mechanisms, mainstream gender equality in policies and programs, and overall, it is to achieve the gender equality, challenge discriminatory norms, and empower women to participate fully in social, economic, and political life. So the Philippine Development Plan, or the PDP is the plan for deep economic and social transformation to reinvigorate job creation and accelerate poverty reduction by steering the economy back on a high growth path. This growth must be inclusive, building as an environment that provides equal opportunities to all Filipinos and equipping them with skills to participate fully in the innovative and globally competitive economy. So, the Philippine Development Plan, or the PDP, outlines the country's socio-economic development strategy focusing on inclusive growth. So, when you say inclusive growth, this means that it is the reduction of poverty, inequality, and unemployment. So, kumbaga, ang focus sa Philippine development, ang focus niya is the reduction of poverty in our country, which is the Philippines, because we are so there are a lot of people here in the Philippines are were unprivileged. So therefore, there is a solution, which is uh, the Philippine Development Plan. So the second will be the human capital development. So it improves education, healthcare, and social protection. So this improves human capital. So it improves education, and so that dili na kayo mahirapan ng mga tao sa pagpangitag trabaho in the future. And the next would be innovation and competitiveness, foster entrepreneurship, innovation, and global competitiveness. So when we say innovation, it is may innovate. So it's because of education, you are thinking more on you can go you can dig deeper on when we say innovation ba, so may kang innovation, it is kana ba ganing so in simple words, the PDP, the very purpose of PDP is to transform the Philippines into prosperous, inclusive, and resilient society. That's all. Thank you.
Narito ang isang senaryo tungkol sa isang batang ginasa ng guro.
Day, naon sa ka, Day? Tara na, murag, malate na jud karon. Nagulat na si Sir. Takoy, tara. Sulod ta. Kay. Ang sa ka?
Pero ko, dito na.
Na akong bahala sa iyo. I got you. Kay, ang sa ka? Sir, sa problema ni Sir.
Problema si Sir. Hindi wala problema si Sir.
Ay, wala problema si Sir.
Oh, pero ang problema si Sir.
Si Sir ang problema. Naon sa si... Ay, ano, yun sa ka. Wala ko kasabot. Pasakta daw ko. Yun sa ka, Sir?
Uy, CR sa ako ha.
Oh, sige. Day, gusto na nita mo. Sundi daw, gusto nita mo. Hapon? Ala, pagtugon, gibulong ka na. Magkakon mo lang, kabantay ninyo. Ala, ta. Ay, isulti na rin sa parents. Ha? Ito ka na ka? Day, itugan, Day. Hindi itugan. Kay, ano ka? Dapat natalo na ito nag-action dahil. Sina itugan si parents.
Upon seeing on the video about gender-based violence that Grace had experienced, there are 8 policies about gender-based violence against women which relates to her case, and this includes the following. So the first 2 policies about gender-based violence against women is the Republic Act number 7877 or the Anti-Sexual Harassment Act of 1995. It is a law making sexual harassment illegal in all things of employment, education, or training. The second is the Republic Act number 11313 or the Safe Spaces Act or the Bawal Bastos Law. It is a law defining gender-based sexual harassment in public places, online, at work, and in educational or training facilities. Kung ating pagbabatayan doon sa video na inyong nakita tungkol sa naging karanasan ni Grace bilang isang rape victim, ating natukoy kung paano siya hirap na hirap sabihin ang kanyang naging karanasan. Kaya naman, doon papasok ang RA 7877 at ang RA 11313, the Republic Act number 7877 and the Republic Act number 11313 are the laws making sexual harassment illegal in all settings. So in the case of Grace, it clearly shows that the sexual harassment basically happened at school. So the second policy is the Republic Act number 8353 or the Anti-Rape Law of 1997. According to this law, anyone can be a victim of rape, including the prostituted individual, non-virgins, and those with active sexual lives. From the word, anyone can be a victim of rape. Yes, it's clearly true. Ang rape ay walang pinipiling biktima, mapabata man o matanda, babae man o lalaki, individual na may karanasan sa sex, or individual na walang karanasan sa gawain ito ay pwede maging biktima ng rape. Sa kaso ni Grace, siya ay isang biktima ng rape kung saan siya ay ginahasa or hinaras ng kanyang teacher sa loob ng paaralan. So in line with the Republic Act number 8353 or the Anti-Rape Law of 1997 is Republic Act number 8505 or the Rape Victim Assistance and Protection Act. This law guides the establishment of rape crisis centers in every province and cities, authorizing the appropriation of necessary funds and other requirements to provide assistance and protection for victims of rape. Ang batas na ito ay naglalayong tulungan ang mga biktima ng rape gaya ng tulong pisikal, socio-emotional, or financial assistance. Hindi lang mga assistance, kundi pati na rin sa protection, ensuring the safety of every rape victim, especially their privacy. So the fourth policy about gender-based violence against women is the Republic Act number 10364 or the expanded anti-trafficking law. This law establishes the essential institutional arrangement for the defenses and assistance of trafficked individuals by formulating sanctions for violations. Ang batas na ito ay nagsasaad na kung sino man ang naging biktima ng rape or any forms of sexual harassment ay maaring magsampa ng kaso laban sa individual. Kung ating babalikan ang video na ating pinanood tungkol sa nangyari kay Grace, sa kanyang naging karanasan, maaari siyang magsampa ng kaso ukol sa kanyang teacher na manoy gumahasa sa kanya. Ito ay magiging depensa sa kanya upang mapakulong niya ang taong nanggahasa sa kanya. So the fifth policy is about the Republic Act number 9262, or the Anti-Violence Against Women and Children, or VAUC Act of 2004. This law prescribes penalties for violence against women and children, provides protective measures for victims and other purposes. Ang batas na ito ay isang mahalagang batas sa Pilipinas na naglalayong protektahan ang mga kababaihan at kanilang mga anak laban sa iba't ibang anyo ng karahasan. Ang batas na ito ay nagbibigay ng mga mekanismo para sa mga biktima upang makapag-ulat ng mga kaso ng pang-aabuso at makatanggap ng proteksyon at suporta. The sixth policy about gender-based violence against women is the Republic Act number 9775, or the Anti-Child Pornography Law of 2009. The purpose of this law is to define the crime of child pornography and prescribes penalties. Ang batas na ito ay nagbibigay ng mga parusa sa mga nagkakasala, kabilang ang pagkakakulong at multa. Mahalaga rin ang papel ng mga magulang, guro, at iba pang mga tagapag-alaga sa pagmomonitor sa mga aktibidad online ng mga bata upang maiwasan ang ganitong uri ng pang-aabuso. So the last policy on gender-based violence against women is the Republic Act number 7610, or the Anti-Child Abuse Law. This law institutes greater defenses and security against child abuse, exploitation, and discrimination. Layunin ng batas na ito ang pagbibigay ng sapat na proteksyon at suporta sa mga bata laban sa pang-abuso at diskriminasyon. Sa ilalim ng batas na ito, nililinaw ang mga karapatan ng mga bata na dapat pangalagaan at itaguyod. Kinikilala nito ang kanilang karapatan sa malusog na kapaligiran, edukasyon at proteksyon laban sa anumang uri ng pang-aabuso. Isinasaad din ng batas na ang interes ng bata ay dapat na nasa unang priority sa lahat ng usapin na may kinalaman sa kanilang kapakanan.
So our next topic is all about revised penal code crime. So in revised penal code we have a four types. So the first one is act of lasciviousness. So from the word lasciviousness, it refers to a term that describes behavior that is sexually suggestive. So ang act of lasciviousness dia is referred to the offense of illegal touchings another person's private part, and with the intent of sexual gratification. This crime is under the article of 336 of Revised Penal Code. So, for example, i-expose nimo ang imo kaugalingon sa public in the way that is sexually suggestive or offensive. So, that term is lascivious na siya kay iya man gi-expose yung kaugalingon sa public nga kabalo siya nga sexually suggestive or offensive to siya. So, second, seduction. Seduction is a crime against chastity that involves enticing a woman to engage in sexual intercourse. So, ang seduction di ay is ba ganing imong pugson ang isa ka babae nga makipagtalik nimo nga imong siyang pugson makomit siya crime. Okay, for example ana is kanang for example bisan kasal na mo or diba kanang di pa mo kasal pa mo ya, kapag pugson ka sa isa ka lalaki ma-apply na siya sa revised penal code crime nga seduction. Number 3, concubinage. Concubinage is a crime against marital fidelity committed by the married man who engage in any of these following. So number 1, keeps a mistress in the conjugal dwelling. So kanang nakipagkuha na siya sa mga kanang kabit niya. And number 2, has a sexual intercourse under a scandalous circumstance with a woman not his wife. So kapag nakipagtalik siya sa dili niya asawa. Number 3, cohabits with a woman not his wife in any other place. So, kanang iha makipag-date siya sa laing lugar or makipagdugdugan siya sa laing lugar. That was combination. So lastly, unjust vexation. So unjust vexation is a crime against personal liberty that involves causing annoyance, irritation, permanent distress, or disturbance to the mind of another person. So it's considered a form of light pure coin under Article 287 of the Revised Penal Code crime. So, ang example ani is kanang tagaan kana ba ngay accusan kag dili mao, for example, giingnan ka nga kawatan kayo bisang wala siya proof. So, pwede siya makasuhan nimo siya og unjust vexation sa under the article of 287 and revised penal code crime. So,
We humans have our own rights, and if our rights are being stepped on, we should fight for it. So at this point, I am here to discuss about the policies promoting and protecting the rights and privileges of a woman. So the first law is the Republic Act 9710, also known as the Magna Carta of Women. So what is Magna Carta of Women? It is a comprehensive law in the Philippines that aims to promote gender equality and empower women. It seeks to eliminate discrimination through recognition, protection, fulfillment, and promotion of the rights of Filipino women, especially those belonging to the marginalized sectors of society. This law was signed on March 14, 2009. The law also establishes the Philippine Commission on Women, or PCW, as the primary agency responsible for implementing and monitoring the Magna Carta of Women. The Magna Carta of Women has contributed significantly in advancing women's rights and empowerment in the Philippines. It has led to increased women's participation in politics and governance, improve access to education and healthcare, and enhance protection from violence and discrimination. So now, let's move on to the second law, which is the Republic Act 11210, also known as the Maternity Leave Law. This law was signed in the Philippines on February 20, 2019. This law aims to promote work-life balance, support maternal and child health, encourage shared parenting responsibilities, and reduce gender inequality. Next is the Republic Act 6725, or the Anti-Discrimination Law. It aims to strengthen the prohibition on discrimination against women regarding terms and conditions of employment. This law amends Article 135 of the Labor Code, making it unlawful for employees to discriminate against female employees based on their sex. The issue in gender discrimination has far reaching implications, not only for women, but in the society as a whole. When a woman is discriminated against in the workplace, there are denied opportunities to contribute in the country and in the society. To address this issue, the Philippine government enacted the Republic Act 6725, which provides for the equal treatments of women and men in employment, training, and promotion, and prohibits discrimination on the basis of gender in all aspects of the employment. So next is the Republic Act 7882, or the Magna Carta for Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises Act. It is the law in the Philippines that provides assistance to women engaging in micro and cottage business enterprises. This law provides assistance to women engaging in micro and cottage business enterprises, and this law was implemented on July 25, 1994. It aims to promote equality and economic empowerment among Filipino women by providing loans and other forms of support. And lastly is the Republic Act 6949, the Republic Act in the Philippines declaring that March 8th of every year is a National Women's Day. This law aims to promote women's empowerment and equality, highlights women's achievements and contributions, raise awareness about women's issues and concerns, and foster solidarity among women's organizations.
For our next topic, this is policies promoting and protecting the rights of the LGBTQ plus community. Internal national policies. Okay, first, Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So, what is UDHR? So, UDHR is an international document adopted by the United Nations General Assembly on 1948, outlining fundamental rights and freedoms universally applicable to all individuals. It comprises a preamble and 30 articles emphasizing dignity, equality, life, liberty, security, freedom, from torture and slavery, freedom of thought and expression, education, work, school, security, and participation in government. The UDHR serves as a foundation for promoting and protecting human rights, influencing national laws and international agreements, but faces limitations due to lack of enforcement mechanisms, cultural differences, and state sovereignty concerns. For example of UDHR, a refugee fleeing a war-torn country receives emergency medical care, temporary housing and food, and legal aid to seek asylum. Illustrate Article 3 of Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And the Article 3 is the right to life, liberty, and security of person. For the second one, International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, or ICCPR. ICCPR, this is a multilateral agreement binds state parties to uphold the civil political rights of all citizens, including the right to life, freedom of religion or belief, freedom of expression, freedom of association, the right to vote, and the right to a fair trial and due to process. And for example of ICCPR, journalist Sarah criticized government policies in her column and is arrested. However, due to internal covenant on civil and political rights, authorities must respect her freedom of expression. Article 19 cannot detain her arbitrarily. Article 9 and must provide a fair trial. And for Article 14, protecting her individual rights against government infringement. And for the third, International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, or ICESCR. It binds the UN member nations of work for the granting of economic, social, and cultural rights. ESCR for the acronym to the non-self-governing and trust territories and to people, including labor rights and the right to health, to education, and to a livable wage. And for example of ICESCR, the government establishes free public education, universal health care, minimum wage laws, and affordable housing programs, ensuring citizens' economic, social, and cultural rights as outlined in the International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, or ICESCR, promoting dignity and well-being.